Milo's ship moved quietly through the dark stretch of space, the stars shining like scattered diamonds against the black sky. He had been traveling for months alone, exploring regions that most humans avoided. Stories of strange worlds, lost civilizations, and unknown dangers always fascinated him. This time, however, he had ventured into the territory of the infamous pirate queen, Zara, a name that sent shivers through even the bravest spacefarers. Zara's legend was well known. She ruled her fleet with an iron fist, taking what she wanted and leaving chaos behind. Her crew was loyal, trained in every form of combat, and feared across multiple star systems. Many had tried to challenge her, and all had failed. Some were captured, others disappeared. Milo, however, did not know fear in the same way others did. He believed in careful planning, intelligence, and patience. As his ship approached a large asteroid belt, the sensors started picking up multiple vessels moving in formation. His scanner flashed red with warnings. Pirates. Not just one or two, but an entire squadron. He tightened his grip on the control panel, taking a deep breath. Milo was not armed like most explorers. His ship carried some defensive systems, but no heavy weapons. What he had instead was a sharp mind, the ability to adapt, and a calmness that had saved him many times before. Suddenly, a large ship emerged from behind the asteroids. Its hull was dark, almost black, and covered with sharp angular panels that reflected the distant starlight. The emblem of a fierce bird with open wings was painted in red across the side. Milo's stomach tightened slightly. This had to be Zara's flagship. The sensors confirmed it. A large shuttle detached from the main vessel and began moving toward him. Milo adjusted his trajectory and activated a series of minor energy pulses around his ship. These were meant to confuse the scanners of approaching ships. He could see the shuttle changing course slightly, trying to keep track of him. Then the shuttle stopped abruptly and hovered, almost as if waiting. Milo knew the moment had come. The hatch of his ship opened suddenly, and a figure appeared. Zara. Her presence was commanding, even without weapons drawn. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, scanned Milo from head to toe. Her dark uniform shimmered under the ship's interior lights, adorned with symbols of rank and power. "You have entered my territory," Zara said, her voice cold but not harsh. "Do you know what that means, human?" Milo met her gaze evenly. "I am aware of your reputation," he replied. "I do not intend to fight unless forced. I am only passing through." Zara's lips curved into a small, amused smile. "Passing through," she said. "No one passes through here. Everyone pays a price." Milo did not flinch. "Perhaps. But I have my own methods. I do not need to pay in the way you expect." Zara's amusement faded. She had expected fear, panic, or at least hesitation. This human was calm, almost too calm. It was unusual, even dangerous. "Very well," she said. "Come aboard. Let us see if you are as clever as you think." Milo activated the airlock sequence, and soon he was standing on the deck of her flagship. The room was large, with high ceilings and intricate panels of glowing lights. Pirates moved around, carrying out their tasks, but they stopped and stared at the human who dared to enter. Milo noticed the way they shifted uncomfortably. Humans were considered weak by many alien species, and his calm confidence created an unspoken tension. Zara walked around him, inspecting him carefully. "Most humans would have tried to run by now," she said. "You are either foolish or very clever." "Which is it?" "Neither," Milo replied. I am cautious. I observe first and act second. Zara paused, considering his words. Few beings had ever spoken to her like that. Most would have groveled, begged, or drawn weapons immediately. She motioned to a nearby table. Sit, she ordered. We will talk. Milo sat as instructed, keeping his posture relaxed but alert. He could sense the curiosity in Zara now. Her crew was watching closely, expecting some kind of confrontation, but Milo remained still. He studied the room, noticing the layout of controls, the positions of guards, and the way light reflected off the walls. Every detail mattered in a place like this. Zara's voice broke the silence. You come from a species I know little about. Humans are known for courage, but they are also weak. They often die quickly when challenged. Yet, here you are, unafraid. Why? Milo looked her in the eye. Because humans are more than strength. We adapt. We think. We find ways to survive and succeed. That is how we conquer challenges, not by intimidation but by understanding. Zara tilted her head slightly. She had never met anyone who answered her so directly. Her pride wanted to dismiss him, but curiosity held her back. Most humans do not survive this long in the galaxy, she said softly. You are either lucky or talented. I prefer talented, Milo said with a small smile. Luck may help for a moment, but skill lasts longer. The room grew quiet again. Zara studied him carefully. Finally, she spoke. You have 10 minutes. Impress me, human, or leave my ship empty-handed. Milo nodded. He understood her challenge. He did not need to fight physically. This was a test of wit, patience, and confidence. He had a plan in mind, a way to show her that humans could achieve greatness even without brute force. As he stood, ready to move forward with his quiet strategy, Milo felt a strange thrill. For the first time, he was facing a being as proud and clever as he was. And somehow, he knew this encounter would change more than just the course of his journey through space. It would change how pirates, and perhaps the entire galaxy, viewed humans forever. The large room hummed with the quiet energy of Zara's flagship, the soft lights reflecting off the polished metal walls. Milo could feel the eyes of the entire crew upon him. Every pirate wondered how this single human had entered their leader's domain without fear. Zara stood at the center, arms crossed, studying him carefully. You have 10 minutes, she repeated, her voice firm but carrying an undercurrent of curiosity. Show me why you are not just another human to be thrown out. Milo nodded calmly. He did not panic. Humans were known for their ability to analyze situations quickly and act strategically. That was exactly what he intended to do. He began by walking slowly toward the center of the room, keeping his gaze steady on Zara. You are confident, Zara said, her voice sharp. Confidence is dangerous when paired with ignorance. How will you prove your worth to me? Milo paused, considering his words. I do not seek to fight you, he said. A fight is predictable. I will show my strength through thought and skill. I believe that strength is more than just power. It is knowing when to act, understanding the world around you, and using it wisely. Zara's lips curled in a faint smile. She had faced many beings who claimed intelligence and cunning, but few could speak so clearly and with such calm. Words are easy, human, she said. Actions are what matter. You will need more than words to survive my fleet. Milo looked around the room, noting the layout of controls, observation panels, and the positions of the pirates. He noticed small vulnerabilities in the ship's defensive systems. None of it was life-threatening, but it showed gaps in the crew's understanding. He walked closer to a control panel, pretending to examine the lights. Zara's eyes narrowed. "Do not touch that," she warned, her tone sharp. "Even a human like you could cause damage." Milo stopped immediately, raising his hands in a gesture of honesty. "I am not here to damage anything," he said. "I only want to show you what humans can do with careful observation and quick thinking." The Pirate Queen tilted her head, intrigued. "Continue then. Impress me." Milo smiled faintly. "All right. I will need a demonstration of your system's response. Can I use the training simulation chamber?" Zara blinked. Most humans would never ask politely to enter her testing room. They would either defy her or flee. Milo's request showed respect but also intelligence. She had to admit, it was unusual. "Very well," she said, nodding slowly. "I will allow it. You will face my trial. But know this, human, if you fail, you leave with nothing but your ship intact. You will not survive the next encounter so easily." Milo nodded and followed the guards to the simulation chamber. The room was circular and filled with holographic projections, weapons training stations, and obstacle courses. It was a place where Zara trained her crew to think and fight under pressure. The simulations could be lethal, but Milo's goal was not to harm himself. He wanted to prove that humans could succeed without brute force. The first simulation began. Holographic enemies appeared, moving quickly and attacking with precision. Most beings would panic, but Milo focused calmly, observing patterns. He noticed that the projections moved in predictable sequences. By anticipating their movements, he avoided direct confrontation and used the environment to his advantage. Zara watched through the observation window, her arms crossed. She had expected resistance, but she did not expect intelligence. Milo was not just surviving the simulation, he was controlling it. He used minimal force, redirecting the holographic enemies into harmless obstacles. His calm demeanor contrasted sharply with the chaos around him. After several minutes, the simulation ended. Milo had completed it without a scratch, using only his mind and quick reflexes. The room was silent for a moment. Zara's eyes were wide, her pride warring with admiration. She had trained her crew to excel in these simulations, but she had never seen a human succeed so efficiently. "You did well," Zara said finally, her voice softer than before. "Most would have panicked. Most would have relied on strength alone. You relied on intelligence. That is, unexpected." Milo straightened, keeping his tone respectful. "Humans survive by adapting. Strength alone is rarely enough. Observation, patience, and reasoning are just as important." Zara considered his words carefully. She had always valued strength and loyalty, but she was beginning to see the value of thinking differently. A human, fragile by her standards, could still command respect through cleverness. "Impressive," she said, almost to herself. Then, louder, she addressed him. "You have passed the first challenge. But do not think this guarantees your survival in my territory. There is more to being cunning than surviving simulations." Milo nodded. "I understand. And I am ready to continue learning." Zara studied him for a long moment, then made a decision. "Very well. We will move to the next test. One that requires more than strategy. One that requires understanding the loyalty of those around you." She led Milo to a large observation deck. Below them, the crew was working, moving between stations with careful precision. Zara explained that she had placed subtle traps in their tasks to test their focus and discipline. Most humans would not notice. Milo, however, observed carefully. He saw the small irregularities, how certain actions caused chain reactions in the environment. Notice how they respond. Zara asked, pointing to the crew. A small misstep could cause disaster. Milo watched closely, analyzing each movement. They are skilled, but predictable, he noted. If I can understand their patterns, I can anticipate outcomes without interfering directly. Zara's eyes sparkled with interest. Most humans would not even notice. You see details others miss. That is a rare trait. Perhaps it is why your species survives in dangerous space. Milo smiled faintly. Observation is survival. Strength alone will only take you so far. Understanding allows you to control what seems uncontrollable. For the next several hours, Milo continued to impress Zara. He predicted outcomes, solved challenges, and even suggested improvements to efficiency that her crew had not considered. Zara found herself growing respect for him, though her pride made it difficult to admit. This human, with no weapons and no fear, was teaching her lessons in leadership and strategy. As the day ended, Zara turned to Milo. You have survived the first day in my presence. That is rare. Most humans would have failed within hours. You are clever, patient, and calm. But there is one thing left to test. Can you face me directly, without hesitation or fear? Milo met her gaze steadily. I am ready, Zara. I will face you, as equals in strategy and thought. The pirate queen nodded slowly, a mixture of pride and curiosity in her expression. Then we shall see if your mind is as strong as your courage. Tomorrow, we begin the challenge that will decide if you are worthy of respect in my eyes. Prepare yourself, human. Milo returned to his ship for the night, his mind sharp and focused. He had passed the first day, but he knew the true test was yet to come. Still, a sense of excitement filled him. He had entered the lair of the legendary pirate queen and survived. Now, he had a chance to show the galaxy what humans could truly achieve. The next morning, Milo returned to Zara's flagship, his mind alert and ready. The previous day had been an unusual experience. He had navigated Zara's simulations and impressed her with careful observation and calm reasoning. Yet he knew that the true challenge was not behind him. It would test more than skill, it would test courage, patience, and his ability to think under pressure. Zara met him at the entrance to the strategy hall. The room was vast, filled with holographic maps, control panels, and screens displaying the positions of ships across the sector. The walls seemed alive with moving data streams. Milo could feel the weight of her presence. Zara stood tall, her dark eyes focused on him as if weighing every thought he might have. Today, Zara said, her voice strong and commanding, you will face a test unlike any other. This is not about simulations or predictions. This is about understanding and control. If you fail, the consequences will be severe. Milo nodded calmly. I understand. I am ready. Zara motioned to a large console in the center of the room. Your task is simple in theory. Navigate the crew through a series of challenges without direct interference. Influence outcomes with intelligence and observation, not force. Show me that a human can achieve control through thought alone. Milo stepped forward, studying the console and the data streams. He quickly analyzed the patterns of Zara's fleet, noticing small inconsistencies that could be used to his advantage. The pirate crew had trained for speed and obedience, but Milo understood that predictable routines could be anticipated. The first scenario began. Alarms blared, and holographic obstacles appeared across the room. Milo guided the crew remotely, using subtle signals and commands to direct their movements. He avoided direct confrontation, instead influencing them through observation and careful suggestions. Slowly, the crew began moving in ways he anticipated, avoiding danger without realizing it. Zara watched with growing amazement. Most beings, especially humans, would panic at the alarms, misjudge timing, or make reckless decisions. Milo's calm voice and precise actions allowed him to orchestrate the entire situation almost like a conductor leading a symphony. "You are unusual, human," Zara said quietly, more to herself than to him. "Most species would not even attempt this. They would fail immediately." Milo did not respond verbally. His attention was focused entirely on the crew and the obstacles before them. He had learned long ago that humans could succeed where others failed by staying calm, analyzing carefully, and acting with patience. Today was proving that once again. As the first challenge ended successfully, Milo immediately moved to the second. This scenario involved multiple crew members making decisions simultaneously. Each wrong choice could create a chain reaction of failure. Milo observed carefully, predicting their decisions and providing subtle guidance through gestures, eye contact, and careful timing of his actions. The crew began to follow his subtle cues without understanding why. They moved efficiently, avoiding hazards, and completing their objectives. Zara's eyes widened as she saw the results. No human had ever demonstrated this level of control and understanding over her crew. "You are clever," Zara said, her voice more serious now. "But do not think this is enough. There is more to command than observation. There is leadership, intuition, and adaptability. Can you handle that, human?" Milo met her gaze steadily. "I believe so. Humans survive by adapting. Observation alone is not enough, but combined with understanding and patience, it allows us to succeed." Zara raised an eyebrow, impressed. She had never met anyone, human or otherwise, who spoke with such confidence and clarity. Most species would be flustered, afraid, or arrogant. Milo was calm, clear, and precise. The third scenario began. This one was more complex, involving unpredictable events and rapid changes. Milo had to react quickly, anticipate moves, and provide guidance to ensure the crew remained safe and efficient. He studied every detail, noting patterns in the holographic projections and the crew's reactions. Milo's ability to remain calm under pressure allowed him to succeed. He anticipated the unexpected, adapting his strategy in real time. The crew moved with surprising coordination, achieving their objectives without even realizing a human was influencing them. Zara's respect grew, but her pride still resisted fully admitting it. She had trained for years to maintain control, and now this fragile human was demonstrating intelligence and leadership that rivaled her own. She crossed her arms, her eyes locked on Milo. "You understand efficiency, timing, and strategy," Zara said. "You do not rely on force or intimidation. You lead through intellect and observation. That is rare, human. Very rare." Milo nodded. "Leadership is not about domination. It is about understanding and guiding. Anyone can force obedience, but true control comes from respect and comprehension." Zara paused, considering his words. She had always believed that power was demonstrated through fear and strength. Milo was showing her a different perspective, one she could not ignore. For the first time, she felt genuine curiosity about humans and their abilities. The final scenario began. This time, Milo had to coordinate multiple teams simultaneously while responding to unexpected threats. The room filled with holographic projections of enemy ships, obstacles, and dangerous environmental hazards. Milo's mind raced, analyzing each situation and predicting outcomes. He directed the crew with subtle commands and timing, ensuring each team acted efficiently. He avoided direct interference, letting the crew feel they were solving the problems themselves. Slowly, the simulations unfolded as Milo anticipated, and the crew succeeded in every task. Zara could not hide her amazement. She had faced many challenges in her life, yet she had never seen a human accomplish such feats with such calm and intelligence. Her pride struggled with admiration, but she could not deny the truth. Milo had proven that humans could excel through intellect, patience, and strategy, even in situations where strength alone would fail. Finally, the simulations ended. The alarms silenced, and the room returned to calm. Milo stepped back, breathing evenly. Zara approached him, her expression unreadable. "You have passed the test," she said, her voice low but steady. "Most would have failed within minutes. You have succeeded through observation, patience, and intelligence. You are clever, human, and that is a rare trait." Milo bowed slightly in respect. "Thank you, Zara. I do not seek to dominate or control. I only wish to show that humans can achieve more than expected through thought and understanding." Zara nodded slowly. "You have taught me something today. Humans are not just weak or fragile. They are adaptable, clever, and capable of leadership. I will not underestimate you again." A small smile crossed her face. For the first time, Milo saw a hint of respect in her eyes. The Pirate Queen, proud and feared across the galaxy, was beginning to recognize the value of a human mind. Milo left the strategy hall, his mind alert and ready. He knew the challenges were not over. Zara's respect was growing, but her pride still held her back from full acknowledgement. The next steps would be even harder, testing not just intellect but courage, negotiation, and moral strength. As Milo returned to his quarters, he felt a quiet thrill. He had survived the first direct test and had proven that humans could match, and even surpass, expectations in intelligence and strategy. The Pirate Queen, feared and powerful, was beginning to see that humans were not to be underestimated. The next day, Milo returned to Zara's flagship with a sense of quiet determination. Yesterday's tests had challenged him mentally, proving that humans could survive and even excel through intelligence and observation. But he knew the true trial was not only about skill, it was about influence, understanding, and subtle persuasion. Today, he would face Zara directly, in a test that could alter her perception of humans forever. Zara awaited him in the main hall, her posture straight, her eyes sharp and calculating. She was dressed in her dark uniform, her emblematic cloak flowing slightly as she moved. Her presence alone demanded attention, and every crew member nearby instinctively lowered their gaze. Milo did not flinch. He walked forward calmly, his hands relaxed at his sides, his gaze steady. "You have impressed me, human," Zara said, her voice firm yet carrying a hint of curiosity. "Most beings would have faltered by now. You rely on intellect instead of force, observation instead of intimidation. That is unusual. But unusual does not always mean strong. Can you continue to prove yourself when the stakes are personal?" Milo nodded. "I am ready. Humans adapt and think clearly even under pressure. I will do my best." Zara motioned to a small device on a console nearby. This test is simple. Convince my crew to follow your suggestions without issuing direct commands. You may influence, you may observe, but you may not force. If you succeed, it will show that humans can lead through intelligence and subtle guidance rather than strength. Milo studied the device carefully. It was a communication interface connected to the crew's helmets, allowing him to send visual cues, environmental changes, and indirect suggestions. He understood immediately how to approach it. Subtlety, patience, and careful observation would allow him to succeed where brute force would fail. The test began. Milo projected small signals and environmental hints to guide the crew. He noticed how small changes in lighting, sound, and timing influenced their decisions. Crew members adjusted their movements instinctively, unaware that a human was orchestrating their actions. Milo's mind raced, coordinating multiple teams simultaneously, anticipating errors before they happened, and correcting them with small, almost invisible adjustments. Zara observed from the side, her arms crossed, a mixture of pride and disbelief in her expression. She had trained countless leaders, but she had never seen someone manipulate outcomes so smoothly without ever taking direct control. Milo's calm demeanor and sharp intellect were remarkable. "You are clever," Zara said quietly, almost to herself. "Most humans would have failed long ago. Yet you manage control without fear or aggression." Milo continued working, anticipating the next problem before it appeared. When a crew member made a misstep, he subtly adjusted the sequence of instructions, preventing a chain reaction of errors. The crew remained unaware of his influence, but Milo's strategy allowed the team to complete objectives faster and more efficiently than Zara had ever seen. Finally, after several hours, the test concluded. Every task had been completed successfully. The crew was exhausted but unaware of the human who had guided them. Zara stepped forward, her expression unreadable. She studied Milo carefully, her pride struggling against the admiration growing inside her. "You have done well, human," Zara said. "You have guided my crew through complex challenges without direct authority. That is a rare talent. Few beings, human or alien, could accomplish what you have." Milo bowed slightly in respect. "Thank you, Zara. Humans have survived because we adapt, observe, and understand. Strength is not always enough. Intelligence and careful reasoning often succeed where power fails." Zara considered his words. She had always believed that control came from strength and fear. Yet Milo had demonstrated something different: leadership through intellect and subtle guidance. For the first time, she felt genuine respect for a human, though her pride still resisted fully admitting it. "Your methods are unusual," Zara said slowly. "Most would never attempt this approach. It requires patience, observation, and trust in others. You risk failure every step of the way. Why do you believe humans can succeed where others would fail?" Milo smiled faintly. "Humans learn quickly. We observe, adapt, and find solutions in unexpected ways. We survive not because we are stronger, but because we think differently. That is how we overcome challenges in situations where others would fail." Zara's eyes softened slightly. She had never considered that humans might possess such qualities. For centuries, she had ruled through fear, force, and loyalty. Milo was showing her a different perspective, one that challenged her understanding of leadership and power. "Interesting," Zara said, her voice quieter now. "You make a compelling argument. Perhaps I have underestimated humans." Milo nodded. "You have not underestimated me, Zara. You have allowed me to show what humans can achieve when we use intelligence, patience, and observation. That is all I ask, to be understood, not feared. The Pirate Queen studied him for a long moment, her pride battling with her growing admiration. She had faced countless beings who challenged her, but none had done so with calm confidence, intellect, and subtle skill. Milo was different. He was human, and yet he commanded respect without weapons, without force, without fear. Finally, Zara spoke, her voice firm but tinged with a new respect. You have succeeded in today's test. Not only have you guided my crew, but you have also challenged my understanding of leadership. That is no small feat. Humans are indeed capable of more than I expected. Milo bowed again, maintaining his calm composure. Thank you, Zara. It is enough for me to show that humans can achieve through thought and understanding. Force is not always the answer. Zara turned slightly, gesturing toward the crew. You have taught me an important lesson. Strength alone does not always lead to success. Observation, intelligence, and patience can accomplish what others cannot. I will consider your methods carefully. Milo left the hall with a quiet sense of accomplishment. He had not only passed the test but had begun to change Zara's perception of humans. For centuries, she had ruled with power and fear. Today, she had seen that intelligence, calm reasoning, and subtle influence could be just as powerful. As he returned to his quarters, Milo reflected on the day's events. Zara's respect had begun to grow, though her pride still remained. The next steps would challenge not only his mind but also his character, his courage, and his ability to influence a being as proud as the Pirate Queen. Still, Milo felt a quiet excitement. He had entered the lair of the feared Pirate Queen and had survived through intelligence and strategy. Now, he had the chance to show that humans could not only survive but also inspire respect, even from the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and full of unknown challenges. Yet Milo knew that humans, with their ability to adapt, observe, and think, could achieve greatness even in the most unlikely places. Zara was learning that lesson now, and Milo was ready for whatever challenge came next. The flagship's control room was quiet, except for the low hum of energy flowing through its systems. Milo stood at the center, calm and steady, while Zara observed him from a raised platform. The tests of intelligence and subtle influence had passed successfully. Milo had guided her crew through challenges without using force. He had demonstrated patience, observation, and strategy that impressed even the most disciplined pirates. But now, the test was personal. It would challenge not only skill and intelligence but also courage, character, and the ability to face a being as proud as the Pirate Queen. You have proven yourself clever, Zara said, her voice measured but with an edge of tension. Most humans would have failed long ago. Yet you continue to remain calm, observant, and precise. That is unusual. But can you succeed when the stakes involve me directly? Milo met her gaze steadily. I do not seek to dominate or challenge you. I only wish to show that humans can achieve through thought, patience, and understanding. I am ready for whatever test you choose. Zara's lips curved in a faint smile. She had faced countless challengers, but few had ever met her eyes without fear. Milo's confidence and calmness were unusual. He radiated a quiet strength that came not from weapons or force but from intelligence and character. Very well, Zara said. This test will challenge your mind and your courage. You will face a direct challenge. You must navigate my fleet through a high-risk mission while responding to unexpected threats. You may not give direct orders. You must influence, anticipate, and act without force. If you succeed, it will show that humans can match or surpass even the most disciplined beings in strategy and judgment. Milo nodded. He understood the challenge. Humans had survived countless dangers because they could think clearly under pressure and adapt quickly. He had relied on these skills throughout his life, and now they would be tested against the best the galaxy had to offer. The mission began. Holographic simulations transformed the control room into a dynamic battlefield. Ships moved across the sector, encountering hazards, enemy formations, and environmental dangers. Milo analyzed every detail, noting the strengths and weaknesses of each crew member and anticipating their reactions. He began subtly influencing outcomes, sending small signals, adjusting timing, and providing cues through observation and minor guidance. The crew responded instinctively, unaware of the human directing their actions. Milo avoided confrontation, relying instead on prediction, analysis, and strategy. Zara watched closely, her arms crossed, a mixture of pride and disbelief on her face. She had trained her crew for years, yet she had never seen such precise control without direct authority. Milo was orchestrating the scenario like a conductor leading a symphony, and the crew followed his guidance seamlessly. "You are extraordinary, human," Zara said quietly to herself. "Most would have panicked, miscalculated, or failed entirely. Yet you remain calm, precise, and in control." The scenario intensified. Unexpected threats appeared, forcing Milo to adapt quickly. Holographic enemy ships changed patterns, environmental hazards shifted, and crew members made small errors. Milo anticipated every challenge, adjusting subtly to guide outcomes. He relied on careful observation, timing, and reasoning rather than force. As the mission progressed, Zara's curiosity and admiration grew. She had faced countless opponents in her life, but Milo's approach was entirely different. He commanded respect without demanding it, influencing outcomes through intelligence and calm leadership. She realized that humans could achieve what many powerful species could not. Finally, the mission reached its climax. A complex sequence of threats appeared simultaneously, forcing Milo to coordinate multiple teams under extreme pressure. Crew members moved with efficiency, following the subtle guidance he provided without realizing it. Milo anticipated every challenge, adjusting his strategy in real time. Zara could not hide her astonishment. She had expected a human to fail long before reaching this point. Yet Milo had succeeded, demonstrating intelligence, patience, and adaptability that rivaled even her own skill. For the first time, she felt genuine respect for a human. "You have done well, human," Zara said, her voice firm but tinged with admiration. "You have guided my fleet through challenges that would have defeated most beings. You have succeeded where others would have failed. That is rare." Milo nodded. "Thank you, Zara. I did not seek to impress or dominate. I only wished to show that humans can achieve more than expected through thought, observation, and patience. Strength alone is not always the answer." Zara's pride battled with the respect growing inside her. She had ruled with power and fear for years, yet Milo had demonstrated that influence, intelligence, and subtle guidance could achieve results she had never considered. For the first time, she began to question her understanding of leadership and strength. "You are not like other humans," Zara said slowly. "Most would have faltered long ago. You think differently, adapt quickly, and maintain composure under pressure. That is impressive." Milo smiled faintly. "Humans survive because we adapt, observe, and think. That allows us to overcome challenges that others cannot. Intelligence, patience, and reasoning can succeed where brute force fails. Zara studied him carefully. She had always believed that strength and fear were the only ways to maintain control. Yet Milo had demonstrated a different perspective, one that relied on intellect, observation, and calm decision-making. She felt a mixture of pride, disbelief, and admiration. "Interesting," Zara said, her voice quieter now. "You have shown me that humans can match or even surpass others in strategy and judgment. That is no small feat. I will not underestimate you again." Milo remained calm, maintaining eye contact. "It is enough for me to show that humans can succeed through thought and understanding. Force and fear are not always necessary." Zara paused, her expression softening. She had faced many challengers, but none had shown her the value of intelligence and patience so clearly. Milo had proven that humans could achieve remarkable feats through reasoning, observation, and subtle influence. Her pride was challenged, but respect for him grew with every passing moment. "You have earned my respect, human," Zara said finally, her voice firm but sincere. "Not many beings would succeed in this manner. You have proven that intelligence and calm leadership can accomplish what strength alone cannot." Milo nodded slightly. "Thank you, Zara. That is all I hope to achieve." For the first time, Zara felt a quiet thrill of admiration. The human before her had succeeded through intelligence, patience, and reasoning. Her pride had been tested, and she realized that Milo's calm courage and subtle skill were extraordinary. The crew, unaware of the human's influence, continued their tasks efficiently. Milo had shown that humans could succeed without weapons, without force, and without fear. Zara watched him carefully, realizing that humans were not to be underestimated. As Milo left the control room, he felt a sense of quiet accomplishment. He had passed the personal test, demonstrating courage, intelligence, and leadership under pressure. Zara's respect had grown, though her pride still remained. The next steps would challenge him further, testing not only his mind but also his ability to inspire true admiration and trust in the Pirate Queen. Still, Milo felt excitement. He had entered the lair of one of the most feared beings in the galaxy and had survived. He had shown that humans could achieve greatness through thought, observation, and calm reasoning. Zara had begun to see this, and Milo was ready for the challenges that lay ahead. The day after Milo's personal test, the atmosphere aboard Zara's flagship was different. The crew moved with usual precision, yet there was an undercurrent of curiosity. They had completed their missions efficiently, guided by a human they did not even realize had influenced their actions. Zara walked through the corridors, her mind occupied with thoughts of Milo. She had faced countless opponents, yet none had challenged her pride while earning her respect so quickly. Milo stood in the observation deck, watching the stars move past the ship's viewport. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers and opportunities. He had survived Zara's tests and demonstrated the abilities of humans: intelligence, observation, and strategy. Now, he was ready for the next step. If he could convince Zara to work with him, the possibilities would be enormous. Zara approached silently, her dark eyes fixed on him. "You have proven yourself, human," she said. "I will admit, I did not expect such skill. You have guided my crew, completed challenges, and shown patience and intelligence that surpass most beings I have encountered." Milo nodded respectfully. "Thank you, Zara. My goal has never been to dominate or defeat you. I only wish to show what humans can achieve through thought, reasoning, and observation." Zara's expression softened slightly. "You have done more than that. You have made me reconsider my assumptions about humans. Most beings rely on strength, force, or intimidation. You rely on intelligence, patience, and strategy. That is impressive. Milo smiled faintly. Humans survive by adapting. We observe, learn, and find solutions where others see only obstacles. Cooperation is often more powerful than conflict. Zara paused, considering his words. Cooperation, she repeated slowly. You propose we work together? Yes, Milo said. There is no need for conflict when we can achieve more together. Your fleet is skilled and disciplined, and my knowledge of navigation, trade, and human strategy can complement your abilities. Together, we can accomplish things neither of us could achieve alone. Zara's pride made her hesitate. She had ruled through fear and power for years. Trusting a human was unusual, even risky. Yet Milo had proven himself repeatedly. He had guided her crew, completed complex challenges, and shown intelligence and courage beyond what she had expected. Slowly, her curiosity and respect began to outweigh her caution. Very well, she said finally. I will consider a temporary alliance. But understand this, human, my loyalty is to my crew first. Any agreement must benefit them and strengthen our position. Do not mistake this for weakness or submission. Milo nodded. I understand, Zara. My goal is not to control or undermine you. I only seek mutual benefit and cooperation. Together, we can accomplish far more than by working alone. Over the next few hours, Milo and Zara began planning. They studied the sectors around them, identifying opportunities for trade, exploration, and strategic advantage. Milo suggested routes through asteroid fields, safe passages past hostile territories, and methods to maximize resources efficiently. Zara listened carefully, impressed by the human's practical knowledge and innovative thinking. You think differently than any strategist I have known, Zara said. Your approach is unusual but effective. Humans must have a strong ability to adapt quickly. Milo nodded. We do. Our survival often depends on observation, quick thinking, and adaptability. We learn from every situation, and we plan for outcomes others may not consider. Zara studied the maps, noting Milo's recommendations. Your strategies could save resources and lives. I will implement them with my fleet, but I will oversee every detail. Do not think I will follow blindly. I expect nothing less, Milo replied calmly. I only offer guidance. The decision is yours to make. As the day progressed, Milo and Zara began coordinating missions together. They planned trade routes, mapped unknown regions, and designed strategies to protect the fleet from threats. Zara began to see the value of human insight. His calm intelligence and ability to think ahead complemented her own instincts and experience. Slowly, a sense of respect and cooperation began to form between them. You have changed my perspective, Zara admitted quietly. I have always relied on strength and fear to maintain control. But you have shown me that intelligence, patience, and careful guidance can achieve results I never imagined. Milo smiled. Humans are not invincible, but we can achieve great things when we observe, learn, and plan carefully. Cooperation allows us to overcome challenges that seem impossible. The Pirate Queen considered this carefully. She had ruled for years through power and fear, but Milo's calm courage and intelligence had forced her to rethink her assumptions. His influence was subtle but undeniable. For the first time, she felt a sense of partnership rather than rivalry. Perhaps we can work together, Zara said finally. I will not make promises beyond this fleet, but for now, we can combine our strengths. Your strategies and my experience could make us formidable. Milo nodded. That is all I ask. Together, we can accomplish more than either of us could alone. Over the next several days, the alliance began to take shape. Milo's guidance improved efficiency and coordination within the fleet. Crew members began to follow subtle cues more smoothly, unaware that a human was influencing them. Zara observed quietly, her pride slowly giving way to admiration. Milo had not only survived her tests but had proven that humans could think, adapt, and lead in ways that were previously unimaginable to her. One evening, Zara approached Milo on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and the hum of the ship provided a quiet background. "You have done more than I expected," she said. "Most humans would have failed long ago. You have earned my respect, and perhaps the respect of my crew as well." Milo nodded. "Thank you, Zara. Respect is earned through understanding and action, not fear or force. Humans survive because we adapt, learn, and cooperate. That is how we achieve great things." Zara studied him silently for a moment. "You have shown me that humans are capable of more than I imagined. Perhaps the galaxy will learn to respect your species as well." Milo smiled. "It is enough to show you that humans can achieve through thought, courage, and cooperation. That is all I have ever wanted." A quiet understanding passed between them. The alliance was tentative, but it was real. Zara's pride had been challenged, her respect earned. Milo had demonstrated that humans were not to be underestimated. He had survived, impressed, and inspired trust in a being as proud and powerful as the Pirate Queen. As Milo returned to his quarters that night, he felt a sense of quiet satisfaction. He had formed an alliance with one of the most feared beings in the galaxy. Together, they could achieve more than either could alone. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but humans had the ability to succeed through intelligence, observation, and courage. Milo had proven that today, and the Pirate Queen had begun to see the value of humans in a way that no one else had ever managed. The journey was far from over, but Milo knew that with careful planning, intelligence, and cooperation, humans could thrive even in the most challenging corners of the galaxy. The alliance with Zara marked a turning point, not only for their relationship but for the potential recognition of humanity across the stars. The flagship moved steadily through a dense region of asteroid fields, its hull reflecting the soft starlight. Milo stood on the observation deck, eyes scanning the horizon, while Zara approached silently. Their alliance had grown over the past days, built on mutual respect and the results of Milo's intelligence and guidance. The crew moved efficiently below, unaware of the subtle influence Milo had woven into their routines. "You have proven yourself, human," Zara said, her voice calm but firm. "Not many beings earn my respect, and fewer still earn the trust of my fleet. You have done both." Milo nodded. "Thank you, Zara. It is enough to show that humans can achieve through observation, intelligence, and cooperation. Force and fear are not always necessary." Zara paused, studying him. For centuries, she had ruled with power and dominance. To recognize the ability of another, especially a human, was unusual. Milo had challenged her assumptions in every way, yet never through aggression or defiance. He had simply relied on intellect, courage, and calm judgment. "You have changed the way I view your species," Zara said slowly. "Most humans I have encountered relied on fear or weakness. You demonstrate something different. A balance of courage, intelligence, and patience that is rare." Milo smiled faintly. "Humans survive because we learn from every challenge, adapt, and think carefully before acting. We are not the strongest, but we can accomplish more through reason and understanding. The flagship's sensors picked up a nearby fleet. Reports indicated that the group was hostile, a notorious band of raiders threatening to seize resources in the sector. Zara's crew immediately moved to defensive positions, ready for battle. Milo studied the data, quickly analyzing the patterns, positions, and potential weaknesses of the raiders. "This is an opportunity," Milo said calmly. "If we coordinate carefully, we can neutralize the threat without unnecessary risk. Observation, strategy, and timing will ensure victory." Zara raised an eyebrow. "Do you suggest leading my fleet, human?" "Yes," Milo replied steadily. "Not by force, but through careful guidance. I can help you anticipate their moves and respond efficiently. Trust my analysis, and your crew will succeed." Zara considered his words. For a moment, her pride resisted giving authority to a human. Yet Milo had proven himself repeatedly, guiding her crew through challenges that would have defeated others. She nodded slowly. "Very well. Lead the fleet. Show me your strategy." Milo began issuing subtle guidance through the ship's communication systems, adjusting positions, predicting enemy maneuvers, and timing responses. His calm and calculated commands allowed the fleet to act with precision. Each pirate moved instinctively, following Milo's cues without fully realizing the human's influence. Zara watched in awe. She had trained her fleet for years, but Milo's strategy was flawless. He anticipated every move of the enemy, used the terrain of the asteroid field to advantage, and coordinated attacks with perfect timing. The raiders were caught off guard, struggling to respond to the unexpected efficiency of Zara's fleet. "Impressive," Zara admitted quietly. "I have not seen strategy executed with such precision." Milo maintained his calm, focusing on the data and the movements of every ship. Observation, anticipation, and coordination allow success without relying solely on strength. The human mind can achieve what force alone cannot. The battle continued for hours, yet Milo's guidance kept Zara's fleet efficient and safe. Each maneuver demonstrated human ingenuity and strategic thinking. Slowly, the raiders began to retreat, recognizing that they were outmatched not by brute force but by intelligence and coordination. When the battle ended, Zara's crew erupted in cheers. They had succeeded with minimal risk, guided by a human who had never fired a weapon directly. Zara stepped beside Milo on the observation deck, her expression a mixture of pride and awe. "You have done the impossible," Zara said firmly. "You led my fleet to victory without force, without fear, only with intellect and guidance. That is extraordinary. Humans are capable of more than I ever imagined." Milo nodded. "It is enough to show that intelligence, observation, and careful planning can achieve results that brute strength alone cannot. Humans survive because we think, adapt, and cooperate." Zara studied him silently for a moment, then nodded. "You have earned my respect fully, human. Not only for your skill but for your courage and composure. I see now that humans are not to be underestimated. Your kind can achieve greatness." Milo felt a quiet satisfaction. The Pirate Queen, proud and feared across the galaxy, had acknowledged the ability of a human mind. Respect had been earned not through fear or aggression but through intelligence, patience, and calm determination. The alliance between Milo and Zara strengthened. They continued to explore, trade, and defend territories together. Her crew, initially skeptical, began to recognize Milo's wisdom and insight. Slowly, humans gained a reputation across the sector not for weakness, but for cleverness, adaptability, and strategic thinking. Zara approached Milo later that evening as they stood on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and the hum of the flagship's engines provided a soft background. "You have changed my perspective, human," she said quietly. "I see now that humans can be more than survivors. They can be leaders, strategists, and innovators. You have shown me that strength is not the only measure of power." Milo smiled. "That is all I ever wanted to show that humans can achieve through thought, observation, and understanding. Strength alone is not always enough. Cooperation and intelligence can succeed where force fails." Zara nodded. "Your kind has earned recognition today, and perhaps across the galaxy. I will ensure that my fleet respects and values your insights. You have proven that humans can inspire respect even in the most difficult situations." The two stood in silence for a moment, watching the stars move past. For centuries, Zara had ruled with power and fear, yet now she recognized the value of intelligence, patience, and courage in a human. Milo had not only survived her tests but had reshaped her understanding of what humans could achieve. "You have done more than I expected," Zara said finally. "Your actions and guidance have saved lives, strengthened my fleet, and challenged my pride. You are a remarkable human." Milo bowed slightly. "Thank you, Zara. It is enough to demonstrate that humans can achieve greatness when they think carefully, adapt, and cooperate. That is the true strength of our kind." Zara's eyes softened. For the first time, she felt genuine admiration without the shadow of pride or challenge. Milo had proven himself fully. She had witnessed human ingenuity firsthand and recognized that intelligence, courage, and patience could rival even the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The flagship sailed onward, its path guided by the alliance between a human and the pirate queen. Across the stars, humans began to gain recognition, not for brute strength but for cleverness, adaptability, and strategic thinking. Milo had shown that even in the most challenging situations, humanity could inspire respect, achieve victory, and leave a lasting mark on the galaxy. And in that moment, as stars streaked past the observation deck, Milo and Zara understood something rare and powerful: respect earned through intelligence and courage could be stronger than fear, and cooperation could achieve what force alone never could. The galaxy was vast, full of danger and opportunity, but humans had proven they could thrive. Milo had led the way, and the Pirate Queen had seen it for herself. The journey was only beginning, but one truth was clear: humans could achieve greatness through thought, courage, and understanding, earning respect even from the most formidable beings in the universe.